say I do. So what rights do kids have when they want a divorce from their mom and dad? So Dr. Cantor and Bud Klueck are here to talk about the reality of emancipation.
Yep.
Hello, gentlemen.
Good morning, Chrissy.
I love the dynamic between the two of you because you have the legal side and you have the emotional side of all these family dramas, things that happen.
And today we have a handout, Chrissy. If somebody at the end of the segment, we'll be discussing how people can get in contact with us.
Okay.
If they contact my office, we'll send them one of these for free. And it addresses these very issues of what happened when a child becomes an adult and what rights and responsibilities they have.
Okay.
What do you do when you're 18?
A survival guide for teenagers. Okay, so our certified family law specialist, Bud, is here. Some thoughts about teen emancipation from this legal point of view. So what are your thoughts on it legally, Bud?
Well, to begin with, one of the problems that the 99% of the people who are not judges or lawyers have in dealing with us judges and lawyers is that very often we use the same word to describe two or more different realities. And that's true of emancipation. One type of emancipation occurs automatically when the child reaches 18. And at that point, they have full rights and responsibilities of an adult with a couple of exceptions. Number one is, as most people know, they cannot drink alcohol legally until they're 21, and there's also different rules about what constitutes drunk driving or driving under the influence. And then the other one is if the 18-year-old is still a full-time high school student,
really?
Parents are still responsible for them financially until they either graduate, drop out, or turn 19. But with those two exceptions, when you turn 18, you emancipate and become a full adult.
But when you're like 14 or 15, can you try and emancipate from your parents?
Well, that's the second kind of emancipation,
okay,
which is a legal proceeding that's filed in court. And 14 and 15 is probably too early. But what the child has to prove, sometimes with the help of the parents, is that they in fact have a job. That job can provide independently for their food, shelter, and clothing, and that they are prepared or are currently living apart or prepared to live apart from their parents and be able to support themselves. So that's the second kind of emancipation. It's a formal legal proceeding. It does not happen automatically.
Dr. Cantor, what are your thoughts on that? Is that appropriate? I mean, is that good in some situations?
Not really, Chrissy. And in fact, our segment for today came from the fact that a lot of times you'll get adolescents who just get really angry at their parents and say, you know what, I want to divorce my parents.
Yeah.
Or you get angry parents who say, you know what, I just want my kids to leave. And I'm glad Bud's here with us today to really talk about the fact that legally that really cannot happen. Because a lot of times what happens is when parents hear these threats from their kids, and if they don't understand the law, they might give in or think, oh boy, I better back up or not set a curfew or not set a limit because I'm afraid my kid will do something.
For the record, Bud, you can't divorce your kids, right?
Not in that sense. It has to be a cooperative venture where the child or the young person actually is earning enough to support themselves. That's one of the problems, is that the kind of person who's kind of youngster who's likely to threaten his parents in this way, to begin with, may have issues with authority, and it strikes me that if they have issues with their parents, they also may have issues with their boss.
Employers.
And one of the employers, and one of the things they have to prove to the court is that they can support themselves, that they have a job, and that they're functioning well in the job, and that job is sufficient to, pay for the rent, pay for the gas, which is a big problem.
Dr. Cantor, is it ever a good idea to do that? Is there ever a situation that maybe you've seen personally that might be for the best interest of the kid?
Well, Chrissy, when it gets to the point where it's that bad, where parents want their kids to leave, or a child wants to, then get some help. I mean, the first thing you want to try to do at that point is seek some professional help. If you've exhausted everything you can do, you want to get some professional help to find out, what are the family dynamics going on that's making this happen? Because, like anything else, it's a cry for help. So, is it ever a really good idea? If it gets so bad that nothing is going to get better, you get help and it doesn't work, it's better to look at some sort of a boarding type of school or a therapeutic school, something like that, where at least there's tons of options rather than that. And usually, and Bud, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I thought as well that doesn't the adolescent have to prove that their parents are also psychologically not stable? I mean, doesn't it work that way too?
There has to be a whole bunch of hoops that you have. We got to wrap it up, but it's not easy. It's not easy,
No,
right?
it's very difficult, and one of the ironies is kind of what I was hinting at, is that the kind of child who's threatening this is not the one who wants to hear, well, if you really want to divorce your parents, what you have to concentrate on is getting a job, holding a job, and being competent on the job. They probably don't want to hear that.
Guys, thank you very much. I know a lot of people have questions for these two, so go to fox6.com and we'll get you to their websites, FamilyLawSanDiego.com. You can go directly to Bud, and of course you can go to Dr. Canner. You got your whole Dr. Canner. What is your? Just go to fox6.com.
Yeah, Your Family Matters. We got a site
that's
here.
right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
thank you guys.
And call us for the handout.
That's right. That's right. Great work, guys. I love having you guys in. Coming